We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Seneca. What if I told you that for over 2,000 years, Stoics have understood a subtle principle of human behavior, something that can dramatically improve the way you interact with women, yet most people remain completely unaware of it? Imagine being able to connect, influence, and communicate in a way that feels effortless, not manipulative. A method so simple, yet so profound, that it changes the dynamic instantly. In this video, we're going to uncover a timeless Stoic psychology trick that reveals why certain behaviors elicit attraction, respect, and genuine engagement. It's not about playing games or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about understanding human nature at its core, using principles that guided Epictetus and other Stoic masters. By the end of this video, you'll not only grasp this ancient wisdom, but you'll also learn how to apply it in real-life interactions with clarity, confidence, and calm. Stick with me till the very end, because skipping even a moment could mean missing the key insight that turns a simple conversation into a moment of genuine connection. Prepare yourself to see human behavior and your interactions in an entirely new light. Number 1. Master the art of calm detachment in interactions. Mastering the art of calm detachment in your interactions is one of the most powerful tools you can develop, and yet it's so rarely practiced. It's not about being cold or indifferent. It's about being fully present in the moment without surrendering your emotional stability to someone else's reactions, moods, or expectations. Said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. When you internalize this, you start to see interactions as a landscape you navigate with awareness and intention, rather than a battlefield where you must react, impress, or overextend yourself to earn approval. Calm detachment is a practice of choice. Every time you feel the pull to respond impulsively, whether it's a text, a conversation, or an unspoken tension, pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, am I responding from a place of composure or compulsion, from inner strength or external pressure? This tiny pause is your gateway to self-mastery. Epictetus teaches that it's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. The energy you spend reacting impulsively is energy stolen from your autonomy. When you detach calmly, you reclaim that energy. You regain focus. You decide your own emotional trajectory rather than surrendering it to someone else's influence. To make this practical, start by observing your impulses. Notice when you feel the urge to over-explain, to chase approval, or to fill silence with words that serve someone else's comfort rather than your own composure. Journal these moments. Record your triggers. By externalizing your tendencies, you create awareness, and awareness is the first step toward mastery. Then deliberately practice non-reaction. Let silence sit. Let patience unfold. Respond with thought, not impulse. Over time, this develops into a natural rhythm, where calm detachment is no longer an effort but a habit. The beauty of this approach is how it subtly reshapes perception. When you are calm and composed, others cannot manipulate your emotions easily. Your presence communicates confidence without words. Your steady demeanor invites respect and authenticity because it is rooted in self-governance, not in validation seeking. You are no longer chasing reactions or trying to control outcomes that are beyond your power. Instead, you are cultivating influence through your own poise, composure, and clarity. A practical exercise to deepen this skill is to create intentional moments of detachment throughout your day. During conversations, practice listening fully without immediately responding. Observe your emotional reactions but hold them lightly. Notice your urge to interject, to justify, to prove yourself, but don't act on it automatically. Reflect afterward. Where did you maintain calm? Where did impulses take over? This is the training ground of the Stoics. Small, consistent exercises that build resilience, awareness, and control. Another exercise is to set boundaries in advance. Before entering interactions that might stir emotional reactions, identify your intentions. Decide in advance what you will tolerate, what is none of your concern, and what you will let pass without engagement. When the moment comes, your detachment is not reactive, it is deliberate. You respond according to principle, not compulsion. Ultimately, mastering calm detachment transforms every interaction. You move from being a participant in someone else's emotional currents to being anchored in your own. You cultivate influence without aggression, presence without clinginess, and authority without force. You become a figure of balance, someone who operates from clarity and strength rather than uncertainty and neediness. Through consistent practice, what once felt unnatural becomes second nature. You will notice a shift, not just in how others respond, but in how you experience life. Interactions lose their power to destabilize you. You operate with confidence, clarity, and calm, embodying the very Stoic principles that have guided thinkers for thousands of years. You are no longer pulled by external events. You are steady, self-contained, and unshakable, and that is a kind of mastery few ever achieve. Number 2, show value without seeking validation. Showing value without seeking validation is a subtle art, but it's one of the most powerful tools you can master. It's not about impressing anyone, performing for attention, or proving that you're worthy. It's about living in a way that naturally radiates strength, competence, and self-respect. Said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. The Stoics knew that true value is inherent. It isn't something you broadcast for approval. It's something that emerges from consistent action, from integrity, and from self-mastery. When you stop bending yourself to fit someone else's expectations, when you stop seeking a nod, a compliment, or a like, you create space for authentic presence. That's when real attraction happens, not the kind that fades with attention, but the kind that endures because it's rooted in character. You can start practicing this today. Begin by noticing the moments when your behavior is motivated by the desire to be validated. Maybe it's a message, a gesture, or even an opinion you share. Catch yourself. Pause. Ask, am I doing this to demonstrate my worth, or am I doing this because it aligns with my principles? Journaling these moments helps you uncover patterns. Reflection transforms impulse into awareness, and awareness is the first step toward internal sovereignty. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your reactions are your domain. By controlling them, you demonstrate your value without uttering a single word of self-promotion. Another powerful exercise is to cultivate skills and habits that enhance your life, not your image. Exercise, learn, create, read. Invest in yourself for the sake of growth, not recognition. Each time you dedicate energy to personal improvement without expecting applause, you strengthen the core of who you are. This is the kind of presence that's magnetic because it's independent, self-sufficient, and unshakable. People sense authenticity. They sense when someone's worth is self-contained, rather than externally reinforced. You can also practice conscious restraint in communication. Resist the urge to constantly justify your actions, explain yourself, or seek reassurance. Speak when it matters, act when it counts, and otherwise, allow your consistency and calm confidence to speak for you. This creates an aura of competence that doesn't rely on verbal persuasion or approval seeking. Over time, you'll notice a shift, not only in how others perceive you, but in how you perceive yourself. You begin to trust your own judgment, to honor your own standards, and to live according to your own principles. Finally, embrace reflection as a daily habit. Each night, review your interactions. Did you act in alignment with your values, or were you chasing validation? Celebrate the moments where you acted from self-mastery and gently recalibrate when you notice deviation. This exercise, simple as it may sound, rewires your mindset. You begin to internalize that your value isn't measured by attention, admiration, or approval. It's measured by your integrity, your discipline, and your clarity of purpose. Showing value without seeking validation is both liberating and transformative. It's a quiet, potent signal of strength. You become someone whose presence commands respect without demanding it. You cultivate autonomy. You demonstrate through action and character that your worth is inherent and self-contained. In the Stoic view, this is the pinnacle of human freedom, the ability to live fully and purposefully, unshaken by external judgments, and to inspire recognition not because you chase it, but because you embody it. This is not just a strategy, it is a practice, a mindset, and a daily commitment to mastery of self. Number 3, use silence strategically to create respect. Silence is more than the absence of words. It is a language in itself, a force that communicates boundaries, strength, and presence without ever raising your voice. When used deliberately, silence commands respect because it signals that you are not driven by the need for constant approval or validation. Once said, "Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it." When you speak less and act with intention, you embody that cliff. Your calm, measured demeanor becomes magnetic, drawing attention without effort, and creating a sense of gravitas that words alone could never convey. You have to understand this. People naturally respect those who are self-contained, who aren't desperate to fill every gap with noise, who can hold space without losing composure. Strategic silence allows you to cultivate that respect because it creates space for reflection, both for yourself and for those around you. Epictetus reminds us, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Your response can be silence. When you resist the urge to react impulsively, to fill conversation with unnecessary explanations, or to constantly justify your actions, you demonstrate mastery over your impulses. You show that your attention is not cheap, that your energy is precious, and that your presence carries weight. The exercise here is simple, but it demands discipline. Begin by observing your conversations. Notice how often you speak out of habit, nervousness, or the need to be liked. Next, deliberately pause before responding, even in moments of tension or uncertainty. Count to 3, breathe, and choose whether your words are truly necessary or whether silence might speak louder. By practicing this daily, you teach yourself restraint, and simultaneously, you create an aura of respect. People start to realize that your engagement is intentional, not automatic. Strategic silence also empowers your inner dialogue. During moments when you would normally feel compelled to react, take a step inward. Ask yourself, what is my principle here? What truly matters in this interaction? Write down your thoughts if needed, but resist immediate verbal expression. This not only strengthens your self-control, but allows you to act from clarity rather than habit. Over time, you will notice that your interactions become more meaningful, more intentional, and more impactful. The scarcity of your words makes them more valued. Another practical step is to schedule periods of intentional quiet. Set aside times in your day where you refrain from unnecessary communication. No scrolling, no messages, no impulsive commentary. Use these moments to reflect, meditate, or engage in purposeful action. The more comfortable you become with silence, the more naturally it will flow into your relationships. Your calm presence becomes a statement in itself, that you are centered, in control, and self-respecting. Remember, respect isn't demanded, it is earned. And one of the oldest tricks the Stoics understood is that respect grows when you stop over-explaining, over-pleasing, and overreacting. Silence is not emptiness, it is power, and it conveys a subtle confidence that draws admiration without effort. When you embrace this principle, you are not only cultivating respect from others, but also nurturing a profound respect for yourself. In essence, every deliberate pause, every measured response, every moment of quiet is a declaration. You are grounded, you are disciplined, and your presence is not to be taken lightly. Use silence strategically. Let it shape the way people perceive you, but more importantly, let it shape the way you perceive yourself. Stand firm like the cliff. Speak only when it matters, and watch as respect naturally follows. Number 4, mirror behavior subtly to build connection. Mirroring behavior is one of those quiet, almost invisible tools that can create profound connection without a single word. When you subtly reflect someone's gestures, tone, or energy, you're not imitating them in a shallow way. You're aligning with their rhythm, signaling empathy and understanding on a subconscious level. Think of it like a dance. If you match the pace and flow without forcing it, you create harmony. Said, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they can't help it. The insight here is that people are shaped by their perceptions and states of mind. When you mirror subtly, you don't change them, but you create a bridge that makes it easier for them to feel understood. That understanding, in turn, cultivates connection. You can practice this consciously. Start by observing. Pay attention to the rhythm of their speech, their posture, the way they gesture, the tone and volume of their voice. Then allow your own behavior to reflect theirs, but naturally. Don't overdo it. The goal isn't mimicry, it's resonance. Even small shifts, leaning slightly when they lean, matching the tempo of their sentences, softening your tone when they are gentle, signal attentiveness and presence. Epictetus reminds us, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Listening isn't passive. It's active observation, and when combined with subtle mirroring, it communicates without a word that you are attuned. The real power lies in subtlety. If your reflection is exaggerated, it becomes obvious and feels manipulative. But when it's natural, effortless, and responsive, it builds rapport without conscious effort. This requires awareness, patience, and self-control. It requires you to put your own ego aside and prioritize the energy of connection over the need to impress or control. Every interaction becomes an exercise in self-mastery. You are observing, adjusting, and responding deliberately rather than reacting impulsively. This is the essence of Stoic psychology applied to human relationships: calm, measured, intentional. To make this actionable, start with micro-mirroring in low-stakes interactions. Notice posture, gestures, or vocal rhythm. Adjust yours gently to match. Then reflect internally, how does it feel? How does the interaction shift? Over time, you'll see that people become more comfortable, more open, more receptive to what you say because they sense harmony and understanding. Pair this with intentional presence. Maintain eye contact, nod naturally, and allow pauses. These small adjustments amplify your impact without words. Another exercise is to consciously pair mirroring with curiosity. Ask questions that invite elaboration and then mirror the energy in their responses. If they're animated, allow yourself to be animated in reflection. If they're soft-spoken, slow down and soften your cadence. This dual practice, mirroring and mindful curiosity, creates an invisible feedback loop. People feel heard, recognized, and aligned with, and you cultivate influence without exerting force. Remember, the goal isn't manipulation. It's connection grounded in presence and awareness. You are learning to operate from a place of understanding, not control. The Stoics practice this through observation and intentional action, training themselves to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. By mirroring subtly, you tap into that ancient wisdom. Connection is built through resonance, empathy, and alignment, not through dominance or coercion. So start small, start deliberate, and let your presence be a mirror that reflects understanding. Over time, this becomes a habit, a second nature, a quiet mastery of human interaction. You'll find that when you mirror with intention, connection happens effortlessly and influence flows naturally, all because you mastered the art of presence. Number 5, demonstrate self-sufficiency as the ultimate attraction. True attraction doesn't come from chasing, persuading, or bending yourself to fit someone else's expectations. It comes from being fully grounded in your own life, your own goals, and your own sense of value. Demonstrating self-sufficiency is not about arrogance or detachment. It's about embodying a life so full and purposeful that your presence alone becomes magnetic. Once said, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. When you internalize that, your energy changes. You're no longer asking for validation, attention, or approval. You're not waiting for someone to fill a void that doesn't exist. Instead, you live fully, intentionally, and deliberately, and that is the ultimate form of attraction. People are drawn to confidence, yes, but more than that, they are drawn to completeness. Self-sufficiency is a mindset you cultivate moment by moment. It begins with controlling your own thoughts and emotions. Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Your freedom lies in mastery over your reactions, your desires, and your priorities. When you can wake up each day, focus on growth, pursue your passions, and remain emotionally stable regardless of external circumstances, you project a magnetic sense of autonomy. This is not about being cold or distant, it's about being whole. You're no longer a puzzle piece looking for someone to complete you. You are already complete. Practical exercises make this real. Start with deliberate routines that reinforce your independence. Dedicate time each day to a personal project, skill, or goal that excites you. When impulses arise to seek attention or reassurance from others, pause and redirect that energy inward. Journal your thoughts. Meditate on your values. Remind yourself that your worth is intrinsic, not borrowed from external validation. These small, consistent actions build a foundation of internal strength that radiates outward. Another powerful step is to practice intentional boundaries. Respect your time, your energy, and your priorities. Say no when you need to, and do not overextend yourself to satisfy others' desires. By doing so, you reinforce the message that your life is governed by your principles, not by the whims or approval of others. Silence, calmness, and consistency in your actions communicate self-sufficiency more effectively than any words ever could. The Stoics understood that attraction is deeply connected to the energy you carry. When you operate from a place of need, you transmit insecurity. When you operate from a place of wholeness, purpose, and internal stability, you transmit strength. Your presence itself becomes compelling because it signals that you are not dependent on external forces for happiness or fulfillment. This is magnetic. It draws interest naturally, without effort or calculation. To fully integrate this, set aside time each week to reflect on your growth. Assess your habits, your goals, and the ways in which you maintain independence. Ask yourself, are my choices driven by others' expectations or by my own purpose? Are my emotions tethered to external approval, or do they arise from my own mastery? By answering honestly, you reinforce self-sufficiency as a practice, not just a concept. Ultimately, demonstrating self-sufficiency is the Stoic strategy for living powerfully in relationships and in life. You become someone whose happiness, energy, and direction are self-generated. That energy, the calm, grounded, purposeful energy, cannot be forced, faked, or taken. It commands respect and naturally inspires attraction. When you live like this, your presence alone communicates what words never could, that you are complete, strong, and unshakable. That is the female psychology trick the Stoics have known for 2,000 years. And the remarkable part, you don't need anyone else to teach it to you. You just need to step into your own mastery. So there you have it, the timeless female psychology trick that Stoics have quietly understood for over 2,000 years. Remember, the power isn't in trying to control others. It's in mastering yourself, in understanding the subtle currents of human behavior, and in using that awareness with calm and clarity. If you take just one thing away from this video, let it be this. When you see the world through the lens of Stoic wisdom, you stop being manipulated by impulses, emotions, and hidden agendas. Instead, you step into a place of quiet confidence, where you understand others without losing your own peace. Now here's what I want you to do. Take this knowledge and observe it in the real world. Notice the patterns, test them, and reflect on the results. The Stoics didn't just theorize, they lived it, and so can you. If this video helped you see human behavior in a new light, hit like, subscribe, and click the bell so you never miss the next Stoic insight that could change the way you navigate life and relationships. And remember, true power isn't forcing the world to bend to you. It's knowing the rules of the game and playing it with complete mastery.